So there's more talk about this now than ever before, and I still don't think that I still don't know whether or not Caitlin Clark plays in the Out Project B League, but there's more and more talk about her potentially making 9 figures. 9. That's kind of crazy. That would be, in my opinion, like too much for her not to take. I mean this when I say this. There is no world where Caitlin Clark makes $100 million in the WNBA. There is absolutely no world where she makes, at any stage in her career, that she makes $100 million in the WNBA. And she could, it sounds like the number 100 million is being thrown out there for her in this new league. So, look, I'm going to be honest. If you're not going to take $100 million, I think you are crazy. Because let's be real, Caitlin Clark made $16 million last year. If you think Caitlin Clark's cultural relevancy will ever be the same as in 2024, you're lying to yourselves. You are lying to yourselves. Do you guys not remember the carnage when Caitlin Clark was playing golf last year? Do you guys not remember the massive dip in viewership that was taken only after the All-Star break when people were like, you know what, fuck this? Like the fever numbers were still huge pre-All-Star break. And even though it was a grade 1 groin strain, she was working her way back in. It had been reported she was sprinting. It didn't matter. People stopped caring. Even if Caitlin Clark had played in the playoffs, they wouldn't have pulled in the numbers that she pulled in the previous year. I'm not saying Caitlin Clark's going to get worse as a player. The mania is over. The mania is over. People traveling all over the world, from all over the world to go see Caitlin Clark play. The Caitlin Clark that could have hosted a traveling world tour and filled out stadiums in every country in the world. That's done. That's over. Like, that's not going to come back. And thing probably be offers Caitlin Clark's thing, she couldn't say no, or so big she can't say no, could a $100 million deal. And that's the thing where it's like Saudi back league can push Unrivaled. I don't know, Unrivaled's not going to exist. Unrivaled's not going to exist. Who would play gimmick 3v3 gimmick ball for 1/10 of the money if it means you just stay in America? For 1/10 of the money. Nobody. Project B's average salary is $2 million. A league like Project B could cause problems like Live Golf give it a PGA. I don't think Project B necessarily is going to cause problems for the WNBA unless they're using it to force a lockout, or it's going to cause problems for Unrivaled, or they eventually go out with the season. Most fans have been supported WNBPA stance of salaries, accommodation, revenue sharing with the league. However, increased attention the league has received, which has in turn boosted its overall value and revenue generating capabilities, is largely based on franchise brought in by new fan base brought in by polarizing players such as Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Like, I mean this when I say this, and this is, I don't mean this as a knock to Angel Reese because I think she's really good at basketball. Nobody's watching Angel Reese play basketball. Angel Reese is a celebrity. Angel Reese is a celebrity. And as great as Paige Bueckers is, and Paige Bueckers is really good. People don't want to watch Paige Bueckers play basketball as seen by the numbers. Like, the numbers will, the numbers show that Paige Bueckers is really not someone that a lot of people like want to watch play. Like, Paige Bueckers is like, the Wings numbers have been so low. Other than like when they're playing the Fever or when they're playing the Sky. Like, people don't really want to watch Paige Bueckers play basketball. And that's for me is one of the biggest problems for the WNBA right now, is that there's only one player that people really want to tune in to watch as an individual player. And compared to last year, the amount of people that want to watch Caitlin Clark is less. Because again, that 2024 year combined, like, also coincided with the NBA being in its one of the worst positions it's been in a long time. Like the NBA being in a horrible position, and Caitlin Clark becoming the best show in sports. But unfortunately now, the NBA is in the best position it's been in. The NBA is, like, I can't remember the NBA being in a better position, honestly, than this. So you're now in a situation where you had all the leverage. And now these players are basically looking to, from what it looks like, they're trying to have one of these deals in their CBA where it's like, we want to take no risks if viewership is going to go down. And I think viewership drops next season. We saw the finals dropping game by game by game, and with the old way of judging ratings, probably averages under 1 million viewers, closer to 2023 than 2024. So, look, it's not an ideal scenario, and I think if Caitlin gets offered money like this, I think she'd be dumb to turn it down. Like, there are people throwing around the 100 million number. There's no confirmation on that. I've said, because I saw 8 figures written somewhere. That was one of the things that they were looking at doing, and I was like, if 8 figures is an option, Caitlin Clark's making 8 figures. Like, we know whatever the most money is, whatever the most money they have, Caitlin Clark's gonna make. And my assumption is they might offer a 8-figure signing on bonus, or say 9-figure signing on bonus. They could go and offer Caitlin Clark $100 million. And then she'll just get her salary. It's like, oh, you know what? We're going to keep the max salaries at $5 million, but you're going to get $100 million for just showing up. And then who knows? Maybe it's $5 million per. They play 14, or they play 7 tournaments with 11 players per team, and maybe it could be $5 million per tournament if you win. So every player gets a half. Basically, every player gets a $500,000 almost. 400 and something K or 450K or something. So yeah, it's an interesting one to think about. It's an interesting one to see what they're gonna do, and is she gonna take the money to go play in it? Because this is the first time where it's like, first of all, by not playing everyone thinks Caitlin's boosting her brand by not playing basketball. No, she's not. Like, to say Caitlin Clark's, in terms of name value, has fallen 50% in the last year is an understatement. Like, that is an understatement. In terms of mainstream relevancy, because she was injured for a season, and then she's not playing for another 8 months, the amount of people in sports forget quick. Like, you guys don't understand how quickly people forgot about Stephen Curry in the grand scheme of things. As in, Stephen Curry was the guy. He was the most popular player for a brief period of time, maybe ever. For that year, nobody can rival Steph. However, we're now at the stage that we're now at the stage he never reached that fame again, as famous as Steph was. Just like Caitlin Clark is going to continue to be the most famous player in the WNBA for as long as she's in it. By only playing in a season that lasts 4 months a year and then doing nothing for 8 months of the year, in playing golf. And there's only so much people who watch a basketball player play golf. We want to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. And I just have this feeling that not only is the hype going to go down, I have a feeling she's going to turn down more money than she will ever see again. While at the same time, I think there's going to be a kind of I think it's going to drop a lot of the deals right now, like 100,000 speaking fees, everything. Like, I think they're still going to be there, but like, I don't know. I just have a really, really bad feeling that, like, if she's not in the MVP conversation next year, her turning down whatever the fuck, like, there's no way she's been offered less than 8 figures. There's no way to play in this league she's been offered less than 8 figures. And I think if she turns it down, there might be 8 figures that might not be there. And let's be real. People saying they don't care about money. If Caitlin Clark didn't care about money, do you think she'd be doing? She'd be repeating the same story about her dad building a 3-point line, the driveway on one side over and over and over again? Like, come on. That's just my opinion. That's just my guess for this. I don't know her, but I just feel like it would be I think the bet on yourself and, oh, I only care about the WNBA is short-sighted because, first of all, the WNBPA don't seem to care about the WNBA. The WNBPA don't seem to care, and they're the ones that have the power to lock out the entire league. Like, the people that have the power to shut down the league don't care. By the way, I'd say half of the investors don't care. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys.